friends, subscribers, and everyone who has ever felt a sudden, unexplained shift in their body and wondered, is this normal? This message is for you. Today, we are going to have a crucial conversation about one of the most pervasive, insidious, and yet largely preventable health crises of our time, diabetes. More specifically, we are going to shine a bright, unflinching light on the early warning signs that your body sends you, signals that are far too often ignored, dismissed, or mistaken for something else. I want you to promise yourself something right now. Promise that for the next several minutes, you will listen not just to my words, but to the quiet whispers of your own body. What we discuss today is not just information, it is empowerment. It is the key to taking control of your health narrative and changing its trajectory. The research is clear, the evidence is robust, and the time for action is now. This is not about fear-mongering, this is about fact-telling. So, let's begin. The first thing we must understand is what diabetes fundamentally is. In its most common forms, type 2 and the increasingly diagnosed prediabetes, the issue is not that your body has stopped producing insulin, but that it has started to ignore it. Imagine insulin as a key, and the cells of your body as locked doors that need to be opened to allow sugar, or glucose, to enter and provide energy. In a state of insulin resistance, the key is there, but the lock is rusty. It doesn't turn easily. So, the sugar, which comes from the food you eat, remains in your bloodstream, circulating at dangerously high levels while your cells starve for energy. This high blood sugar, sustained over time, is a corrosive force. It damages nerves, hardens arteries, compromises organs, and sets the stage for a cascade of health complications. But your body is not a passive victim in this process. It is a brilliant communicator, and it begins sending distress signals long before the damage becomes permanent. Our job is to learn its language. Let us delve into the first and perhaps most classic of these signals, unquenchable thirst and a dramatic increase in urination. This is not the simple "I'm a bit parched" feeling after a workout. This is a profound, persistent, almost nagging thirst that seems to have no end. You can drink a full glass of water and feel as if you never took a sip. And naturally, what goes in must come out. You will find yourself visiting the bathroom far more frequently, and in larger volumes. The reason for this, according to research published in journals like The Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology, is a direct consequence of high blood sugar. Your kidneys, which act as your body's filtration system, are working overtime to flush the excess glucose out of your blood. To do this, they have to pull water from your tissues, leading to a cycle of dehydration that triggers intense thirst, which in turn leads to more urination. It is a vicious cycle, and it is one of your body's most desperate cries for help. If you find yourself getting up multiple times every single night to urinate, a condition known as nocturia, do not simply chalk it up to aging or a weak bladder. It is a cardinal sign that your blood sugar levels may be critically high. Now, let's talk about energy, or the alarming lack thereof. Do you feel a deep, pervasive fatigue that coffee cannot fix and sleep does not relieve? This is not ordinary tiredness. This is a cellular exhaustion. Remember the rusty lock? When your cells are resistant to insulin, they are not getting their primary fuel, glucose. So, while your bloodstream is essentially awash with sugar, like a gas station flooded with fuel, the cars, your cells, are running on empty. Your body's fundamental energy production line is broken. You might eat a large meal, rich in carbohydrates, and instead of feeling energized, you feel overwhelmingly sluggish, needing a nap almost immediately. This fatigue can impact your work, your mood, your relationships, and your overall quality of life. It is a sign that your body's metabolic engine is sputtering, and it is a hallmark symptom confirmed by countless studies in diabetic research. Closely tied to this energy crisis is the third sign, sudden and unexplained weight loss, particularly when you are not trying to lose weight. On the surface, this might sound like a welcome surprise to some, but in this context, it is a major red flag. When your cells are starved of glucose, your body panics and goes into Plan B. It starts breaking down muscle tissue and fat stores for energy. This process is inefficient and stressful on the body. It's like instead of using the perfectly good firewood stacked outside, you start burning the furniture inside your house to stay warm. It is a destructive, short-term solution. Furthermore, all the glucose that your cells can't use is being flushed out through your urine, meaning you are literally peeing away calories. So, if the number on the scale is dropping without any change to your diet or exercise routine, it is not a gift, it is a symptom of a system in distress. Now, let's address one of the most contradictory and confusing signs, constant hunger, even right after a meal. This is known as polyphagia. You might finish a substantial dinner and within an hour, feel pangs of hunger as if you hadn't eaten all day. The reason goes back to the cellular level. The hunger signals in your brain are triggered by the energy levels inside your cells. If your cells are energy-starved due to insulin resistance, they send out frantic SOS messages to your brain, screaming, "We're starving in here. Send food." So, you feel hungry, you eat, the blood sugar rises even higher, but the glucose still can't get into the cells. The alarm bells keep ringing. It is a cruel physiological trick, and it creates a devastating cycle of eating without satisfaction, often leading to further weight gain and worsening insulin resistance. Another set of signs that often go unnoticed are the changes in your vision. You might experience blurred vision that comes and goes. Things that were once sharp may appear soft around the edges. This is not necessarily a sign that you need a new glasses prescription. High blood sugar can cause the lens inside your eye to swell, changing its shape and its ability to focus. According to the American Diabetes Association, these vision changes can be one of the earliest reversible signs. If blood sugar is brought under control, the lens can return to its normal shape, and vision can clear. However, if left unchecked, this can evolve into diabetic retinopathy, a serious condition that can lead to permanent vision loss. Do not ignore fleeting blurriness. Your eyes are a window not just to your soul, but to your bloodstream. Our skin, the body's largest organ, is also a powerful messenger. In the early stages of insulin resistance, you may notice a condition called acanthosis nigricans. This presents as dark, velvety patches of skin, usually in the folds and creases of the body, the armpits, the neck, and the groin. This darkening is a skin manifestation of insulin resistance itself. The high levels of insulin in the bloodstream can stimulate the skin cells to reproduce rapidly, leading to these characteristic patches. Furthermore, you may experience slow wound healing. A small cut, a blister, a minor burn, injuries that used to heal in a few days now take weeks or even months. High blood sugar impairs the function of white blood cells, which are your body's primary infection fighters. It also damages blood vessels, reducing circulation and the delivery of oxygen and nutrients needed for repair. A simple sore that refuses to heal is not just an inconvenience, it is a glaring warning sign of compromised immunity and vascular health. We must also talk about the neurological signals. Tingling, numbness, or a burning sensation in your hands and feet, a condition known as peripheral neuropathy, can be an early sign of nerve damage from high blood sugar. It often starts subtly, a pins and needles feeling that you might attribute to sitting in one position for too long. But when it becomes persistent, it is a sign that the delicate nerve endings are being damaged by the excess glucose in your blood. Yeast infections, which thrive on sugar, can also become more frequent and stubborn in both men and women. This is because the elevated glucose levels in blood and bodily fluids, such as urine and vaginal secretions, create an ideal environment for yeast to grow. Finally, let's address a sign that is less discussed but profoundly important: changes in mood and mental state. Research has consistently shown a link between insulin resistance and irritability, anxiety, and even depression. When your brain, the most energy-demanding organ in your body, is not getting a steady supply of glucose, its function is impaired. You may find yourself feeling suddenly short-tempered, unable to concentrate, or in a mental fog. This brain fog is a real, physiological consequence of unstable blood sugar, not a character flaw. Now, you may be listening to this and feeling a knot in your stomach. You may be recognizing one, or two, or even several of these signs in yourself or someone you love. If that is the case, I want you to take a deep breath. This is the moment of empowerment, not panic. Acknowledgement is the first and most courageous step. The next step is action. The most critical, non-negotiable action you must take is to see a healthcare professional. Do not self-diagnose. Do not consult Dr. Google and leave it at that. Make an appointment with your doctor and request a simple blood test. The most common tests are the fasting plasma glucose test, the HbA1c test, which gives an average of your blood sugar over 3 months, and the oral glucose tolerance test. These are straightforward, accessible tests that can provide a definitive answer. The beautiful, life-affirming truth that decades of research, including the landmark Diabetes Prevention Program study, has proven is that prediabetes and even early type 2 diabetes can be reversed. The progression is not a foregone conclusion. The single most powerful tool at your disposal is lifestyle modification. A balanced, whole foods-based diet low in processed sugars and refined carbohydrates, coupled with consistent, moderate physical activity, even just 30 minutes of brisk walking most days, can dramatically improve your body's sensitivity to insulin. It can polish that rusty lock, allowing the key to turn once more. Losing just 5 to 7% of your body weight if you are overweight can reduce your risk of developing full-blown type 2 diabetes by nearly 60%. This is not a vague suggestion. This is a statistical certainty from rigorous clinical trials. Your health is your greatest wealth. It is the foundation upon which your life, your dreams, and your contributions are built. The early signs of diabetes are your body's urgent memos, pleading with you to pay attention. Ignoring them is like ignoring the smoke alarm while a fire smolders in the kitchen. Today, you have received the knowledge. You now know what to listen for. You have the power to change the story. If this video has resonated with you, if you feel that a light has been switched on in a dark room, then I urge you to do 3 things. First, subscribe to this channel or this blog. We are building a community of people dedicated to taking proactive control of their health, and we share research-backed, practical information like this every week to help you on your journey. You do not want to miss what comes next. Second, if you found this speech valuable, if you believe it has the power to awaken someone else to the whispers of their own body, then please like this video or share this article. You never know whose life you might be saving by sharing this knowledge. It could be a family member, a close friend, or a colleague who has been feeling these symptoms but didn't have the words for them. Be the messenger that empowers them. And finally, share this video. Spread it across your social networks, send it in your family group chats, and talk about it over coffee. Let's break the silence and the ignorance that surrounds this disease. Let's create a wave of awareness that leads to early detection, prevention, and healthier, fuller lives for millions. The choice is yours. You can close this page and return to your day, hoping the whispers will go away. Or you can choose to listen, to act, and to thrive. I know which one I am rooting for you to choose. Take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Thank you for watching.